Are you kidding me? Guerschon Yabusele leaving the Sixers was to be expected, but he's leaving the Sixers to sign with the New York Knicks. That was unexpected. That one hurts. We're going to talk about it here on today's show, plus the latest on Trendon Watford, who the Sixers signed last night, and the latest on Quentin Grimes. How much money will he get? When will he sign with Philadelphia? Before we get into all that, be sure to join us today for day 2 of our live coverage of NBA free agency. Day 1, we had over 5,000 people in total joining us here on the channel. It's a great time. Of course, talking Sixers and just talking NBA in general as well. A lot of moves, a lot of shocking moves have happened today. So hit that sub button, turn on your notifications. Should be live right around 4 p.m. Eastern. So join us then, and let's get into today's show. So Shams Charania breaking the news this morning that Yabusele is signing a 2-year, $12 million contract with the New York Knicks, negotiated by his agents, as you can see down there at the bottom of the tweet. Again, as I said off the top, man, we knew he was probably gone, but all the buzz and all the rumors was that Guerschon was going to go to a Western Conference team. Teams like the Spurs, the Nuggets, the Bucks were mentioned as well as potential landing spots for Guerschon Yabusele. And this morning, out of nowhere, the New York Knicks come in, use that mid-level exception they had available to bring in Guerschon, who, going to the rival New York Knicks after just 1 year in Philadelphia, man, it surprised me. It's disappointing. I'm glad he got a little bit of a bag. I honestly thought he'd get more money than just about $5 to $6 million per season. But based off the year he had last year, coming back to the NBA after being out of the league for multiple years, showing that he adapted his game to what the modern NBA asks of some of these big men. 11 points, 5.5 rebounds, shooting 50% from the field, 38% from three. Tremendous for him. That was Yabusele's biggest concern when he came into the NBA as a former draft pick in the first round by the Boston Celtics many, many years ago. And for the Sixers, it definitely hurts because, one, he's a great player, right? But the Sixers being the team that really gave him that second chance to come back to the NBA, and he did excel, even though it was a pretty terrible year for Philadelphia. Guerschon was one of the more consistent and reliable players throughout the entire season. I'm just disappointed that we didn't get to see Guerschon play some more meaningful minutes and meaningful games with Philadelphia, because he's a player that I truly think impacts winning at a high level. He's a glue guy that all playoff teams and playoff caliber teams need on their roster. He has flexibility to play the 4, play the 5, and with his skill set, he's pretty decently athletic. He'll get up, he'll dunk on you. He can hit a 3. He's a smart basketball player. So it sucks that we didn't get to see him for longer in Philadelphia. He seemed to really love the city, right? And love the fans and love playing here. But the reality was, even the money that the Knicks gave him, I know a lot of people are going to say, why couldn't the Sixers do it? Well, they really could not give Guerschon even that $5-6 million mid-level exception, because they have to pay Quentin Grimes. And we'll get to Quentin Grimes in a little bit, but, sucks to see Guerschon Yabusele go. But we kind of saw this coming, especially with the signing of Trendon Watford late last night. Now, I broke down this signing on the channel. I'm not going to go quite as deep into it here today. If you want more of a deep dive into Trendon Watford and what he brings to Philadelphia, go check out that video after you finish watching this one. But we heard after the signing happened last night that it was very likely Guerschon was going to be gone. Now, initially thought maybe it was because the Sixers were using some of that money from the exception to sign Watford. Not the case. It's a 2-year minimum contract for Watford. So technically, the Sixers still had the mid-level exception available, but clearly kind of just a replacement player for Guerschon, being that Watford fits in at that forward spot. And although a little bit of a different skill set, you kind of could see where those Sixers are coming from. Again, replacing those minutes at that forward spot. Now, Watford, undrafted in 2021 out of LSU, spent the first couple of years of his career with Portland before spending the last 2 years with Brooklyn. An interesting player. You could see the numbers on the rise this past year from a statistical standpoint. The best scoring year of his career, but not quite as efficient as he's been in previous seasons. You hope that you can get that 39% three-point shooter he was his final year in Portland and his first year in Brooklyn, although those numbers, not on a whole lot of three-point attempts per game. Now, what Watford can bring to Philadelphia, again, I don't think he's going to be a super high impact starter, but I think as a rotation player, Watford is going to get a chance to have a role and make an impact. He's 6'8", the 7'2" wingspan, 237 pounds. He's a little bit of a tweener where he's not quite, quick enough and agile enough to play the 4 truly, but he's also not big enough to play the 5. However, he does supplement that with a pretty intriguing skill set offensively. At 6'8", he really can handle the ball. You'll see him run the pick and roll as the pick and roll ball handler. He's a good passer for his size. He sees the open man. He can fire that pass in there. He can take bigger guys off the dribble and drive by him, or he can overpower smaller defenders as well. And he really excels on the fast break. He can grab a rebound, put the ball on the floor, and go coast to coast. Now, the issues, defense is a major concern for Watford, not someone who's going to be a stopper at all. I'm not so sure I go as far as to say he's a revolving door on defense, but certainly a downgrade even from what Guerschon Yabusele was. And with Watford, the three-point shot is slow. It doesn't look great. Again, it takes a little bit to get that shot off, so you're not so confident, at least I'm not so confident, that he really is that true 39% three-point shooter. That would really open up his game quite a little bit. But he is good in the mid-range, a good floater game. So, an interesting skill set for a forward who can handle the ball a little bit, do some interesting things offensively, should have a role in this team. Wish he could be a little bit more consistent shooting the ball from outside. But, a body the Sixers absolutely needed on this roster, especially with losing Guerschon Yabusele. It's definitely a downgrade, in my opinion. I think most people would agree. Guerschon Yabusele is the better player. But again, it's an expected move. Sixers really could not afford to give Guerschon Yabusele even the small amount of money that the Knicks gave him because, again, with the second apron, they would have been hard capped. They could not have gone over that number. And they were only about $20 million, $25 million away from the second apron. Depending how much money Quentin Grimes got, there's a chance that if you gave Guerschon that money, you would not have enough money to bring back Grimes. And I know some people would rather have Yabusele than Grimes on the roster. And, if that's your opinion, then you absolutely have a right to be upset about the Sixers not paying Yabusele. But I think it's smarter to hold on to Quentin Grimes, younger, I think a more dynamic skill set, and replace him with Watford. We'll see if he can make an impact. But definitely hurts to see Guerschon Yabusele gone. If you are sad to see Yabu go, type me down in the comments section. We can kind of, talk about it, discuss it down in the comments. It's unfortunate as a player who is definitely a little bit of a fan favorite. Supposedly just bought a new house in Philadelphia, led some Sixers fans to believe he was going to stay. But after one short year, he'll be leaving Philadelphia. Again, if you're sad to see him go, type me down in the comments. But coming up next, we'll get to the latest on Quentin Grimes and his free agency, how much money he could be looking to sign for, when we could see the Sixers and Grimes finally come to an agreement with the restricted free agent. But really quick before we get there, a great new deal available with our friends at Fanatics on this blue 76ers polo shirt. Was $45. It is now over 50% off. You can get it for just $19 in all sizes. The perfect thing to wear out during the summer months. You're, golfing out on the course. You're going out with your buddies, going out with your girl. You can wear it to work. Whatever you want to do, you can get this now again for just $19 at chatsports.com/Sixers Polo. That's chatsports.com/Sixers Polo. The deal isn't going to last for forever. I'm sure these are going to start flying off the virtual shelves over there at Fanatics. So again, chatsports.com/Sixers Polo was $45, now just $19. Go get yours today. I'll have that link in the comments and description of today's show. All right, let's get to the latest on Quentin Grimes. Did not strike a deal with the Sixers on day one of free agency, and as of about 2:30 p.m. Eastern, has not struck a deal here on day two of free agency with Philadelphia. Not surprised, restricted free agents usually take a little bit longer as they kind of see what other teams are willing to offer them, and then the Sixers, in this case, would look at those offers as well and decide if they want to match. But I don't think Grimes has got any offers right now. Now, Philadelphia did tender him that $8.7 million qualifying offer, officially making him a restricted free agent. Of note, we haven't really talked about this possibility yet, but I wanted to throw this out there. I don't think we'll get to this with Quentin Grimes, but there is a world where Grimes does not like whatever offer the Sixers are giving him. According to reports from Tony Jones of The Athletic, Grimes is seeking $25+ million a year. I don't think the Sixers give that to him. So if he's hard set on that number, Philly doesn't want to give him that much, there's a chance that he could just play out this season on that $8.7 million qualifying offer and then become a completely unrestricted free agent next offseason. So that is a possibility. I think they'll come to a deal at some point soon here. Mark Stein reported that the Sixers are confident they can retain Grimes, but just wanted to let people know that there is a chance that Grimes does not sign a contract extension and he plays out this final year at that $8.7 million number and then could leave really for nothing. The Sixers would not have the match rights next offseason that they do this offseason. I think with Grimes here, I get you want to get your money. You want to get paid what you think you are worth, but looking at the market and what some of these free agents are getting this offseason and teams adding in players, I think the longer Grimes waits, the less money that there really is out there for him to get, because some of these moves that I mentioned that these other teams are making, teams that we thought maybe could be interested in acquiring Quentin Grimes, have now made trades or made signings that take up some of the cap space that originally we thought they might have. A team like the Brooklyn Nets, for example, were a team that we have mentioned you need to watch out for Brooklyn because they have a ton of cap space and they could use that to throw a $25+ million offer at Quentin Grimes, and all of a sudden the Sixers would be in a tough spot. But they traded Cam Johnson for Michael Porter Jr. on day one of free agency. That added $17 million to their salary book. So they really don't have as much money now as they did previously, and they still have to re-sign their own restricted free agent in Cam Thomas. So I don't see the Nets really being major players to give Quentin Grimes a massive deal anymore. The Pistons were another team. Because of the situation with Malik Beasley, they had some open cap space, a need at that secondary guard spot. Thought maybe they could try to throw Quentin Grimes $20+ million. Instead, they go out, they sign Karis LeVert away from the Atlanta Hawks. So we're seeing teams now start to spend their money. Money's drying up. To me, seems like the Sixers are almost betting against themselves at this point. No other teams reportedly are interested on Quentin Grimes, and that could always change today, depending on the type of money the Sixers are throwing at him. But again, the longer he waits, the cheaper I think the Sixers can get him at, and that's probably why they're comfortable waiting, because they don't see another team out there looking to give Grimes a huge contract. So they're saying, you know what? We'll just sit back, let you see if you get anything. If not, we're coming to you with this number, whatever the Sixers number is, and we're not really willing to go over that. Otherwise, you can play out that year on the qualifying offer, and we'll see what happens next offseason. My guess right now, I would say Grimes probably signs by the end of the week at the very, very latest. Now, they could come to a deal as soon as today. If Grimes is like, you know what, there are no other suitors right now for me, I might as well just get this deal done with Philadelphia before the numbers start to go down even more. I think he signs for an average annual value of about $18 million. We saw Santi Aldama get $17.5 million. We saw Dennis Schroeder just got like $14 million. Nickeil Alexander-Walker got $15.5. So I think somewhere in that range makes a lot of sense for Quentin Grimes. I don't think 20 is really in play anymore. Definitely not 25, what he was asking for. But I do expect the deal to get done, and I expect it to get done at least within the next couple of days, and Grimes will eventually be back with the Philadelphia 76ers. Predict it for me. Will Quentin Grimes sign for over or under $20 million? Give me an O for over. Give me a U for under. Let me know what you think Grimes' market is down in the comments section. And, of course, be sure to subscribe to the channel, as we will be live here in just a little bit for day 2 of free agency. And go follow me over on X/Twitter at Jake Chipper. There's been a bunch of Sixers news that's dropped today. Of course, the Guerschon Yabusele news that we saw earlier. The Summer League roster was announced. I'm always talking about it first on my Twitter profile. That's at Jake Chipper, over on Twitter. So throw me a follow, and I hope to see you in a little bit right here on the channel.